let's now welcome in our resident sports betting analyst, Erica, to get the best bets of the weekend. But before we dive into Michigan, we got to kind of recap our bets for Richmond. It was a wild race between the tire option and the insane finish. So how did our bets shake out?
It was crazy, Kim. We had one best bet to hit, and that was Bubba Wallace as a top 5 finisher. Now, we got in on that at plus 350. I did see that line move to as high as plus 360, so congrats to you if you waited it out and got the better number. But I have to be fully transparent. I was very upset that Denny Hamlin did not end up winning, because if you followed my bonus bets toward the end of the week, you know that he was one of the drivers I was backing to be an outright winner. But I'm just going to sit here and be grateful that Bubba Wallace put some cash in my pocket as a top 5 finisher.
That's right. One bet cashed in is better than no bets cashed in. All right,
Exactly.
Let's get right into Michigan and look at the top 5 finishers for this weekend and who you're putting your money on.
We got 3 top 5 finishers that I'm looking at. Bubba Wallace, we have Denny Hamlin, and we also have Chris Buescher. So first we're going to go Bubba Wallace, back to him 2 weeks in a row, plus 310. I like him in this spot. Bubba runs really well at Michigan. And I also said last week, and I'm going to say it again, he has to keep being aggressive. Yes, he got into that 16th playoff spot for now, but as we know, without an outright win, he still has his work cut out for him. Bubba Wallace also finished as a runner-up in 2022 here at this track. So I feel pretty confident that he can come out and run very well again and finish as a top 5 at plus 310.
I love that pick. And last year, headed into Michigan weekend, the whole garage was saying the number 23 was one of the ones to beat. So we'll see if he has similar success this weekend and a fast race car. You mentioned Denny Hamlin. He's a guy that you like to sprinkle money on whenever you can. Why Michigan for Denny, though?
Well, Michigan, I like his minus 125 odds. I would actually like plus 110 a little bit better in this spot. So you early birds who saw the odds when they first dropped on Tuesday probably got in on Denny Hamlin at plus 110, but minus 125 is not bad. Denny finished this race 3rd last year, and then he's coming off that 2nd place finish at Richmond. But I do want to take a step back while we're talking about Richmond, Kim. If you followed Denny's money last week at one book, he was the highest ticket, he had the highest handle, and he was one of the drivers that was the highest liability. So if you are a bettor who likes to fade the public, make sure you keep an eye out on how the money's coming in on Denny, because that might inform you on what you want to do with him this week.
All right, you've mentioned 2 Toyota drivers, but we know it has been a Ford-dominant track the last handful of years. Chris Buescher winning last year, so it looks like you're backing him for a top 5 finish. You are confident about this?
Okay, this might be a loaded question, but let me just give you my short answer. I'm confident he's going to finish in the top 10. I prefer his top 10 odds at minus 160, but the better value is Chris Buescher plus 220 as a top 5 finisher. As we know, he finished this race 1st last year. And I did mention a few weeks ago on Around the Track right here on this set, I said this was a time of the year last year where Chris Buescher and his team started getting hot, getting win after win after win. If they can open that playbook and recreate that magic, we could see him at least finish in the top 10, hopefully top 5 this week at Michigan. And I do want to say, Kim, yeah, he's coming off an 18th place finish last week at Richmond, but let's just consider that to be a precursor, a warm-up to him going back to the track where he's the reigning winner.
Okay, all right. So we have your top 5 odds picks. What about just winning team?
Winning team was a little bit difficult for me, but we are going to go Hendrick at plus 280 to be the winning team. As you know, Larson won the last 3 races at Michigan that were won by a Chevy driver. If you don't want to throw $10 or $20 here, you can even sprinkle $5 here, and that would still win you a total of $19. So don't bet the farm on Hendrick at plus 280, but do consider putting that on your betting slip for this week at Michigan.
I know that Team Hendrick and Chevy especially would be happy to see Kyle Larson or any of the Hendrick drivers kind of shake up the Ford dominance we've seen recently at Michigan. Erica, thank you so much for the insight. We'll check in with you next week before the wild card that Daytona will certainly be. And don't forget, you can check Erica's social media for bonus bets later in the week.